You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
And this is Saturday, February the 4th, and you have indeed entered overtime on one of the truly great sports weekends of the winter. Of course, the winter postseason started today with IHSA Regional Wrestling highlights forthcoming. We've got the usual assortment of college hardwood happenings going on. And yes, this is indeed Superfan Shootout Saturday, an event KHQA is proud to co-sponsor, as well as aid in the creation of matchups for each year's schedule. Now, that's an exercise, to be candid, that happens a year in advance. So imagine our joy when we got to put this thing together to put a defending Illinois State champion today up against a state runner-up last year in the Show Me State, you betcha, the South Shelby Ladybirds versus the Q&D Lady Raiders. On paper, about as good as high school basketball gets around here. But how would it actually play out today at the pit? Let us take you to the KHQA American Family Superfan Shootout. And yes, senior night for Quincy Notre Dame. Leah Quintero has been injured all year, got to lead her team out today. And as you can probably imagine in the stands, Mom pretty emotional to see that after the big knee injury. No brace though, that's a good sign for Leah. So hopefully good things coming for her on the development side of things. And right off the bat in this game on senior night, yes, a nice nifty start in this one for Amber Durst, and she's gonna knock down a triple. Gotta love the way this thing started. At the other end, it's 3 for South Shelby, but the more traditional way. Hannah Wegman doing the job right here. Back and forth we'd go at least for the first 90 seconds in this one. Sage Stratton gonna come wide open thanks to you-know-who, Abby Schreck, creating and making the wing three open. Sage had 5 points on the game. Good triple for her. Miranda Patterson gonna answer back, and then all of a sudden South Shelby in the first quarter, they couldn't hit three-pointers, which is a huge part of their game plan, and their offense went kaput for a while, and that's not a good thing when you're playing Abby Schreck, who quietly supplanted Ruth Kipping last night as Quincy basketball's all-time leading scorer, boys or girls. And then Ari Bueller on the attack. Good stuff for her. And all of a sudden, after Jenna Durst gets free inside, it's an 18-4 lead. It was also at one point in this game be a 24-8 lead in this one. And Abby Schreck had a monster game. No surprise here in her senior swan song of sorts. Not really. She's got 2 games at home next week, but we'll call it senior night. 29-11 for her. South Shelby would come back. Fought hard in this one. Bill Roush helping to aid things on the day in this one as well, as she had a pretty big night as well. So too Cameron Mitchell, but to no avail in this one. Quincy Notre Dame leaves no doubt about it, winning today 67-55. Earlier in the day at the Superfan Shootout, state-ranked Unity taking on Cairo. Slow start for Brad Begeman's team, but they would fight themselves out of the first quarter doldrums thanks to this young lady, Kylie Berry, who was a monster. Bang shot early for her. At the other end, though, Cairo attacking nicely with the defense. Really impressed with Avery Martin from the Lady Bearcats. Great take for her. Seemed like she scored every bucket they had in the first half. She can play a little, and then things got warmed up for the Lady Mustangs in this one. Ashlyn Arnsman, future Quincy University Lady Hawk, comes free in the post. And she is going to make things happen from short range with the nifty little turnaround jumper right there. That's in the repertoire, about a 4-footer for her at that point. Then off the Arnsman miss, it is Kylie Berry again. She's there for recycling purposes. Again, she would be your team MVP today. She had 17 points, and she really hit the boards hard as well. And then things got going. It was a tight game, and all of a sudden in the second quarter, you saw Unity growing things. Helped big time that Sophia Schaefer hit this 3 and kind of broke things open, and it would be all Lady Mustangs from that point forward. They win going away in this game, holding Northeast to just 41 total points in the offing. Unity gets the win, puts 68 on the board, and tunes up for the postseason in just over a week with a nice win there. Speaking of teams in tune-up mode, state-ranked Central Southeastern taking on Alton Marquette on the girls' side today. The first quarter in this game tells the full story in this one. Parker Krim on the offensive glass gets the 2 early, and it was like Central Southeastern was bent on landing a knockout punch from the start, and that's exactly what they did. Defense was huge in this. Check it out right here. After the steal, Lauren Miller overpowers a defender. She did a lot of that today. Quick inbounds pass. This is going to work out nicely for Matt Long's team as well. Brylan Lance open. Yeah, you can't let her kiss one off the window like that. It's an 18-3 run out of the gate for Central Southeastern, and you are not recovering from that against Matt Long's defense. Again, Lauren Miller right there off the steal, and it's Miller to Parker Krim. She's going to do some more work on the interior. Really impressive start in this one for Central Southeastern, but to no real surprise, that's what they do. Alton Marquette overmatched from the get start in this one. Central Southeastern puts up 59 in a game that was never close in this one. They win by the final count today. As you can see, 59-26 is your final. And those were the three really intriguing girls games at the Superfan shootout. Some other scores to pass along today. In the championship game of the La Plata tournament, how about North Shelby for the second time in 3 tries this season, taking out Schuyler County. Chris Parsons' squad 54-49. Caroline Lindberger leading the way in this one with 22 points. That's a really quality win for the Lady Raiders. Meanwhile, in the third place game, a quality win for the Canton Lady Tigers as well. They get the job done today. Macy Glasgow today with a big day as Canton beats La Plata in a no-doubter. 67-44 your final there. Also on the girls' side today, Marion County falls to a good Silex team, 50-37. We did have basketball in the Gem City that didn't have the Superfan shootout involvement today. Quincy High School in Western Big 6 action taking on Moline. Brad Dance pleased. He should be. In the fourth quarter, his team up big already and going for more. Taylor Foey, are you kidding me with this shot? 3-point play for her in the hardest of ways. That's what we call a members-only bounce. 35-16 Blue Devils at that point. Then it's Miss Foey from mid-range. Yeah, she's got that in the repertoire as well. How about some Layla Day doing what she does, knocking down long jumpers, and yeah, she's going to give it to get it, and yeah, that's pretty. 3 for her. Sydney Welsh going to step up as well. Again, this game already decided, but the Blue Devils pouring it on and making a statement. They improved to 17-11 on the season, 8-5 in the conference. 53-27 is your final as Quincy High School gets the job done. And we haven't even started the job here on Overtime tonight. More Superfan shootout fun coming your way, all on the boys' side. Plus, we did indeed have regional wrestling action from Macomb today, from Alton today, and from Jacksonville. All of those scores and highlights when Overtime resumes.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
Welcome back to Overtime, everybody. Regional wrestling underway today. We're going to start you off by talking about the adventures of the Quincy High Blue Devils down at Alton, and that score today shows the Blue Devils doing some pretty darn good work, finishing in second today in the regional as a team to a very good Edwardsville squad with 178 points. Quincy High in good company, but let's put this into sharper relief for you. We had 3 champions today for the Blue Devils. No surprise, all within that murderer's row from 160 pounds on upward today. As you see, Owen Uppinghouse still undefeated. He runs the table today to win the 160-pound weight class. Briar Newbold doing what he does. The pleasant surprise today, Gavin Schumacher doing what he did today at 220. So good for him. Todd Smith with a second-place finish, and the Blue Devils as well today with 3 third-place finishes at those lower weight divisions with some younger guys. So obviously, when you see a Wyatt Boeing showing out the way he did today, that's really good stuff and really good momentum for the Blue Devils heading into the sectional next week. Speaking of good momentum in Class 2A, the Jacksonville Crimsons on their own home floor today destroy the field. They win the team title with 204.5 points today. That's 37.5 more points than second place. Check out the rundown of champions today. 6 of them for the Crimsons, who may really be a threat for a team trophy when this thing is all said and done in 2A. We'll know better next week after I believe they're at Chatham Glenwood for the sectional next week. But man, that Jacksonville program has been impressive all season long. Love to see this happen, and they've got some great wrestlers, obviously, as you can see right in those middle weight classes. Just phenomenally loaded. James Cotton leading the way today, and Colin Reef, obviously, who it seems like he's been there forever, and all he does is win. All right, let's take you to Macomb. Regional final round, and we'll start it off with the grand entry. Very well done today by the good folks in Macomb. Steve Horrell and company making it a big deal. 152 champion Shep Carter Hogue of Macomb with a single leg takedown on Hunter Bolton of Camp Point. Then he's going to get 2 of those legs right there for a second takedown. And yeah, the takedown points were coming right here. He's going to cradle up. Couldn't turn that into a pin at that point. But Carter Hogue wins a 15-8 decision, his 100th career victory. Class kid, wonderful job, Carter. Congratulations there. 195 now. Speaking of Macomb, Max Reiner versus Ryan Darnell of Quincy Notre Dame. Reiner with a single leg takedown, and he's going to work hard to get his points, but he is eventually going to get them on Darnell. No easy guy to wrestle against. Another single leg takedown for Max Reiner, and then eventually Max, look at it, he's going to stick his man right there. I tell you what, Max Reiner just brute strong. He is your regional champion today at 195. A little momentum for him headed to the sectional. And let's take you up to 220 where his teammate Ethan Ladd ran into a buzzsaw today. If you're from Beardstown, your last name's O'Hara, you better know how to wrestle, and Owen does. Gets the takedown points here to go up 6-0. Ethan Ladd, though, in comeback mode right there with the reversal, getting it down to 6-2. Not enough time for any more than that. Owen O'Hara is a beast today. He wins 6-2, his decision. Those were our 3 regional champs up at Macomb in Class 1A. All right, back to the Superfan shootout now, and away we go in this one. Q&D taking on Cairo Northeast today. Nick Sanker, former Mark Twain coach, back in town. His team really plays hard. Early on, they were trying to stop this guy, Alex Canoyer, who picked up where he left off last night, scoring points early. He had the first 3 buckets for his team, thanks to Jackson Stratton there with a nifty dime, and then it's Canoyer again. But you know what? At least in the first quarter, Cairo had answers. Check it out as Canoyer's running back down the field. Logan Head, who's a very nice player, gets fed the ball at the other end and gets the deuce right there. Close game in the first quarter. Second quarter, some of the best basketball we've seen all season, at least offensively, from Q&D. They're shooting the ball. They're making things happen. It helps when you have Braden Sheffield back, finding Charlie Lavery right there. Chuck with 2 off the glass. Then Braden Sheffield, who has started his return with 5 straight threes. This is the 5th of them. Finally did miss, so he is indeed human, but not for long in this game. Jake Hoyt, do your work. 67-40 Quincy Notre Dame with a big-time victory today, making it look good. 2 more big wins for Kevin Meyer's team over the weekend. Also today, Southeastern trying to get some momentum built against Steelville. Now, in full disclosure today, Steelville without their leading scorer, so the matchup not as good as we'd hoped. Danny Stevens, though, in his debut, first bucket down the floor, setting the tone, barging inside for that. Aiden Akers have a day. He's wide open. Nobody's going to guard him. Decides to pull it. Why not, Aiden? You got that, and he did. 3 for him. Then Danny into the paint. This is good. It's traditional Danny Stevens stuff. Speaking of that, before I could even get the camera pointed back with him, he gets the steal and gets to throw the hammer down right there. Single-handed at that point. More from Danny because he had a big day today. And, you know, Danny tends to do that from time to time. Right here into the paint again. Oh, don't try to guard me. Reverse pivot and a little float game on the back end of it. Danny for 3 from the outside as well. Had himself a big first quarter with 14 points in the first quarter alone. And then how about some more Aiden Akers? This time he's not going to hesitate. Pulling right there for 2. And then it's Akers getting the feed from Danny. And, you know, Danny finished with 35, but he was not alone in the scoring column today. Akers big, so too our guy Owen Rigg, who's going to light up a 3. All Southeastern all the time over Steelville in this one. Final count, see the Suns rise. 56 for Southeastern today to 41 for Steelville. All right, really entertaining games in the early side. West Central and Alton Marquette. Big week for the Cougars, obviously, who upset top-ranked Route on Tuesday. Chance Little have a day. This is a harbinger of things to come from Chance today because the big fella, and by the way, West Central's front line depleted by injuries and a suspension today. Good stuff from him. At the other end, though, man, Marquette hanging strong early. This guy, Jaden Rochester, pretty good. Pause move for him, gets it going, and then it's Zach Evans' time. He's going to miss this shot, but there's Zach Evans to clean up, and Zach Evans doesn't miss often. Playing with that broken toe, playing really well. I'll show you. Look at the footwork right here. Bad toe and all. Yeah, he'll shake you, then he'll bake you for 3 right there. And then a little more Chance Little, just beasting in the blocks. They needed him today, Ryan Seasting's team did. He would deliver in a major, major way as he gets the bucket there. Third quarter of this game, still tight. But you know what? Chance Little is going to help take over in this game. He went on a nasty, nasty flourish right here. Just kept attacking inside, and nobody's going to touch him today. Chance Little in the second half. Oh, beautiful pass right there from Tyson Brown, by the way, to make that happen. We're not done. How about a little bit more? Yeah, we're working a little bit more chance right here, or chance more, if you will. Take whatever you want. Chance Little had 21 points today. He would share team MVP honors in this one, and more importantly, a big win with Zach Evans, who also had 21 points in the day. We'll leave you with a Zach Evans triple because they're fun to watch. All West Central in this one. They beat Alton Marquette. It was not a bad team, and again, did it depleted today. 54-46 your final. Finally tonight, Your morning edition was Liberty Monroe City. Not nearly the anticipated battle as last year, but hey, we had high drama. Early on this one, Gavin Fessler opened for three. Slow first quarter for both teams, but Monroe City is going to have a Ryan Moss event. And Ryan Moss, pretty darn good today. Going to hit the three right here. He's not done sniping. Mr. Moss, again, would put the Panthers up as many as 7 points right here off the Landon Holland feedback. Yeah, a little dish and dime and let it fly. Third quarter, Liberty still down, and then Tanner Gim just got going in this game. It's the Gim Reaper, if you will. To the cup right there, strong take for him. And then, you know what, if Tanner Gim is going to back you down, you're going to get back down. There's just really no thing you can do about that. Big, strong man, and that's a three-point play for him. He had 8 points in the frame. You know what? It wasn't even the scoring that was huge for Gim in here. It might have been, at this point, the dime that he somehow managed to pull out. One more from Tanner right here, again on the back down move. They're not going to call a charge there, so take advantage of it. Here's the one, though, right here. Gim to Will Moss, yeah, in traffic. That ties the game up at 23 all. And then Gavin Fessler's going to let fly with a three in this one. And the threes were flying. Fessler would be your team MVP at 14 points. And Liberty's going to get a needed victory today over Monroe City, 35-31, avenging, well, sort of, last year's loss to Monroe City in this very affair. Let's do the rest of the boys' slate for you on the high school docket today. Griggsville Perry, no match today for Central. Man, Central was 21-4 in the season, and they put a beat down on a really good Griggsville Perry team today, 63-29. Canton takes third place at La Plata, 61-46, your final there. The Marion County boys jump all over Silex. Joey Loggeman with a big day in that one. Ended up putting, 26 points on the board. And at the SISC shootout today, Holy Trinity, that's 4 in a row for the Crusaders, again led by Luke Helligy with 23. And Central Lee also with a big win today. Braden Wyrick getting the job done in that one, leading his team to victory. Good news, bad news proposition today from junior high school basketball. Quincy Catholic today opens with a win over formerly unbeaten Crest Hill at State. That's a really big win for them. Rowan Stegeman leading the way. And then Quincy Catholic runs into a buzzsaw in undefeated Metamora. So Quincy Catholic will play for third place coming up next week. Same scenario for Brown County, who came into the 2A dance undefeated. Brown County wins their quarterfinal today thanks to a monster game from Bradley Marker, who had 20 against Peace Academy of Decatur. St. Philomena, though, hands Brown County their first loss of the season, so Brown County will end up playing for third. And we're just getting the overtime fun underway right here, because coming up next, college basketball and a big day for Jeremiah Tolton and the John Wood Trailblazers.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
College basketball now. The John Wood Trailblazers at home hosting Illinois Central College today. Brad Hoyt's team with a big lead at the half. They need every bit of it. Hey, what a half, first half for Jeremiah Tolton. He picks right back up after scoring 17 points with this three right here. How about some high post jumper action as well to extend the lead from Liberty's own Logan Robbins. And then it's Jensen Whiteman doing work. Yeah, he is a three-point sniper, and he is going to snipe away at this particular juncture. And you thought at this point John Wood was getting set to put this thing away. Huge comeback from ICC today, but not before some more Jeremiah Tolton, because on that man's business card, it simply reads Jeremiah Tolton, bucket getter at law, because that's what he did today. He got buckets, 29 overall for his team. You will see yet another triple coming right here. This game goes to overtime after John Wood led by as many as 14. At least that was the high count that I saw. They end up pulling away and finishing this thing out after letting the lead slide. Good win for Brad Hoyt's team. Maybe not the drama or the stomach lining he hoped to create in this one, but it is a win for the Blazers. 94-89 is how it all shakes down. On the basketball docket collegiately today, Western Illinois rallies from 12 points down to get a victory. The Leathernecks are now 8-5 in the Summit League. The 8 conference wins are the most for the program since back in 2012-2013. So good stuff there. Oh, by the way, Trenton Masner led his team in every statistical category today. He is, in fact, Trenton Masner. Tough go of it, although a nice showing In a loss for Quincy University at nationally ranked Indianapolis, 76-70 your final. Zion Richardson with 14 points in the loss. Culver Stockton runs into an absolute buzzsaw today down in Springfield against Evangel, 80-51 on the men's side. Also today, women's college basketball. Quincy University loses at Indy. Final count in that one today. 58 for Quincy University. Indy ends up kind of rolling them today at the back end of that. We'll move on to women's college basketball as well. Western Illinois today falls at home. They'll let a lead slip. 57-55 your final despite 16 points from Elizabeth Lutz. Culver Stockton loses a heartbreaker at the buzzer on a traditional three-point play as time expired, 74-73. And Illinois Central College, nationally ranked number 9th in the country, ends up beating John Wood today, 72-58 is your final there. By the way, one other shout out to give you today from the high school ranks. Congratulations to Keokuk swimmer Brendan Wooster today, who ended up qualifying for state, which is next week in Iowa, in two different events, in the 200 freestyle and the 100 back. He set new personal bests in both of those events to qualify. So congratulations, Mr. Wooster. We'll wish you the best next week at state, and we'll have more overtime coming your way straight after this.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
You ever have one of those days where you feel like you spent your entire day in a gym? Yeah, that was the day today. I'm tired, like Danny Stevens, play every minute of the entire game type tired, but it was fun. And we want to thank everybody for their incredible support. By the way, the girls crowd for that South Shelby Quincy Notre Dame game was insane. Y'all did well. You supported girls basketball the way it deserved to be supported for two teams of that ilk, and we couldn't be more proud and happy. Again, that Superfan shootout has really become, more than anything, a spotlight for great girls basketball over the years, dating back to the Q&D Clopton Wars that started it. It's certainly neat to be a part of that. By the way, I'm not doing my job here if I don't say some thank yous. First and foremost, as always, to the man, the myth, the legend, the Hall of Famer, Dennis Schickadance, who does all the booking. He makes this all happen. He makes all the rest of us involved in the Superfan shootout look good. So thanks, Dennis, as always. Again, to Bill Connell, who works ceaselessly, and his staff, and obviously Kevin Meyer and the Hall of Famer himself, Eric Orn at Quincy Notre Dame, for such great hospitality and everything they do, and great basketball every year. Gerard Fisher, obviously, from American Family, and his support of this event, and all of our sponsors, but particularly Mr. Fisher, who is there nonstop from start to finish. That man is a warrior. God bless him for doing that. And again, to all of you and all the teams that participated in the officials, we had a blast. Can't wait to do it again next year. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to put you together a really good one for next year as well. I'm all out of time. Zach Richardson's got you tomorrow. He's going to talk some QU football, and he's got some signing news, some first ever signing news from Quincy High with a different sport we don't talk about often. That's coming your way tomorrow night. We'll see you then, everybody.